Hi Pam. All right, so let me try to explain adaptive release for you. I am in a dummy Blackboard shell. I'm in new Blackboard, and I have a lecture 1 folder right here. And within this folder, I have a test. Okay, so I'm going to pretend that this test is tied to a video lecture that you have completed, that you've created. You've got it uploaded onto Blackboard, and I'm going to show you where all of this lives. So in order to put an adaptive release on this test so it will only open after your lecture is watched, I actually need to start with where the lecture is. I have the lecture located here in course documents. They cannot be in the same folder, just as an FYI. So having them in separate areas, and you can rename this so it would be, weekly lectures or whatnot. But here is my video lecture for week 1. I'm borrowing a math video from another instructor here. So they would watch this entire video, and then once they were done, it would have a button that would come down here that says Mark Reviewed. They would click that, and then when they came into assignments, then they would be able to take the test. So let me show you how you would do that. So I'm in my video, which is located in course documents. I'm going to come down to this drop-down chevron, and I'm going to come into Set Review Status. It's currently disabled. I'm going to enable it, and then click Submit. You can see now that there is an enabled review, and when the student plays this, they can't move on into the test until they have reviewed it. So I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment. But now we need to come into our assignments area where that test is. Okay, the test is in lecture 1. So I'm going to go into this folder, and I'm going to set up an adaptive release rule. So my test is already here. I've already deployed it, so I've came into assessments, test, and deployed my test. And now I'm going to set up an advanced adaptive release. There's no rule because there's nothing here yet. So I'm going to go ahead and create a rule. And I'm just going to call it Rule 1, which is the default. It doesn't matter. Now, adaptive release is normally set for dates. So open after a certain date, open until a certain date. A grade, you don't get to move on until you have an 80%. Or a membership, so specific students can have a longer amount of time depending on their skill sets. But we aren't going to put any of those criteria on this. They just need to watch the video in order to take the test. So we're going to come over here to Review Status, and then basically this content item is visible to all until a review status is created. Then they can only see it after the first step, the video, is watched. So I'm going to select an item by hitting Browse. And forgive me because this class is like ginormous. But I'm going to go into my course documents, and my video lecture week 1 is what I'm going to click on. And then I just hit Submit. It says this selection will turn on review for the selected item. This is the way we want it to go. And then all we have to do is click OK and OK again. So now there's an adaptive release on here. So what I want to do is show you exactly what this looks like for your students, because right now we're in instructor mode. Turn my edit mode off, and now look, my lecture 1 folder is completely empty because they have not yet watched the video lecture. So they come in and they push play and they watch their video. They wouldn't fast forward through it because yours is going to be a lot more engaging than math. So, and if you're a math teacher, I'm sorry. So there we go. They've gone through 6 minutes and 17 seconds, and now they can come down here and click Mark Reviewed. They can still watch it again and again, it doesn't matter, but now that that checkbox is cleared, I can come into assignments, I can go into lecture 1, and now my test is open. So that's how you can use adaptive release. And it is a little bit clunky still because you have to have these in separate areas, but I still think that it is a valuable tool for students to be able to use. Now, for course documents, there is some concern that students can just click this as being reviewed. But the point of it is, obviously, your test is over what this content is. They would only miss one or two of these opportunities before they realize they actually needed to pay attention. So that is the best way to get this to work. Um, anyway, there you go. That's how you can use adaptive release. Please let me know if you have any other questions or if you want some additional other optional ways to get this done that would force them to watch the video, but there's really no way to get them to do that without having the little carrot here at the end of it. So if you watch this, you will do well on this. I hope that makes sense. If not, give me a call or an email and I'll be happy to work with you.